What's up, everybody? My name is Darius. Welcome to the Different Church YouTube campus. A couple things I need you to do before we jump into today's message. Subscribe and hit the notification button so you can stay up to date with all the sermons that we have coming up. A few more things. If you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Different Church Nashville, hit that follow button, hit that add friend button. Follow us, stay up to date with everything that we got going on. Also, if you are a Different Church member and you call this great church home, hit that generosity tab if you feel so led to give to our church, to give to the vision, to give to what we have going on, and to give to what God put on our hearts for this city of Nashville. And last thing, wherever you're watching from, hope God speaks to you in a mighty way. Here we go.
Real quick, if you're part of our YouTube location, if you're part of our 615 location, man, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Here's my prayer, that you would just discover what your different is. Maybe you look a little different. Maybe you sound a little different. Maybe you like different things. Whatever. God created you that way so that you could do something different. You could leave a different type of legacy on this earth, whatever it is. And hey, this is a special day, man. We start a new series called Citizens, okay? Now, I'm about to put myself on blast, okay? Okay. The church, pastors, preachers, whatever you want to call us, we do a really bad job of saying, get to Jesus, get to the altar right now. Come on, everybody, raise, or everyone bow your head, close your eyes. One time I said, well, everybody bow their eyes and close their heads. I've said that before. But hey, bow your head, close your eyes. If you accept Jesus into your heart, raise your hand. Nobody's watching. And I've even seen pastors, when no hands are raised, say, I see you, just to get someone to, dude, pastors have done it all, man. We have. But here's what I've seen. We're really good at getting people to Jesus. But we're not very good at telling people what to do when they get Jesus. What does a life look like with Jesus? So we're having this conversation, citizens. How am I a citizen of heaven? And hey, even cooler than that, every Friday morning at 7 a.m., we are reading the book of Philippians because that's what we're walking through. We're reading the book of Philippians together. So maybe you have it, you're watching this, and you haven't read the book of Philippians chapter 1 yet. Why don't you get out of this, go to read with different Philippians 1, and just so it's fresh on your mind. Now, listen, okay, team, listen real quick. I love the book of Philippians, but, and this might be blasphemous, I hate the book of Philippians, okay? Because, all right, I had to give you a little backstory. Not many people know this about Tyler, okay? Not many people do. It's super embarrassing. When I talk about like top 5 most embarrassing moments in my life, this is it. When I got saved, I was like 17 years old. When I got saved, someone gave me this 365-day devotionals for young men, okay? I didn't get a Bible. I didn't get anything. I got a young men's devotional book, okay? And I'm laying in my bed, and day 1, there's this passage in Philippians, it's Philippians 1 verse 21, and we're going to talk about it later, and I read it, and it spoke to me. This was the first time I'd ever read a verse, read the Bible, anything. I had never opened up a Bible before in my life. I read it, and I said, that makes sense. And I had tattoos, okay? I had tattoos in high school, all this stuff, but I had never gotten a Christian tattoo. And I had become a Christian. So what did I have to do? Well, I had to get a Christian tattoo. I had never gotten one before. This was This was circa 2010, okay? So smartphones weren't like a huge thing, so I still had the slide phone with the keyboard on it and stuff like that. Okay. So the first thing I think is I've got to go to the tattoo parlor and get a Christian tattoo with this new verse that I just read for the first time. I gotta do it. So what did I do? I went to the tattoo parlor. He knew who I was. I started talking. I said, hey, bro, I want tattooed on me Philippians 1:21. Done. And if you've ever been to a tattoo parlor, whenever they get there, they'll stencil it out or they'll draw it and then they'll put it on this thing that will they put it, I guess it's called a stencil. They'll put it on you, and when they take it off of your skin, it leaves ink, so you can kind of see what your tattoo looks like. And at the time, remember, circa 2010, rib tattoos were super popular. That was the coolest thing. It was either here or the ribs, okay? So I walk in, I said, I want Philippians 1:21, I want it right here. He says, okay, so he gets it all drawn up and he puts it on me. And so I go to the mirror and I look up and I remember him explicitly asking me, Tyler, is Philippians spelled correctly? And so I looked at it, and remember, no one had a Bible app. Nobody, and you didn't really just think to, isn't it crazy how you didn't, 10 years ago, you didn't just think to Google stuff. That just was not a thought. You're just like, oh yeah, I guess it'll work. I guess that's the recipe, or I guess you just winged it. And so I looked at it, and I'm at a tattoo parlor, okay? So there's no Bible anywhere near. And so I look at it, and it says PHILLIPIANS, okay? And so I look at it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. No doubt, let's do it. So I lay on the table, and he starts tattooing me. So now I have my first ever Christian tattoo. And man, I'm telling you, I felt holy. I'm talking about I was super holy because I had on my rib cage. And man, I was sending people pictures at the time, and it was the coolest tattoo I ever had. Okay, so that was 2010. 2016, I've been married for 3 years at the time. We're at the pool. I'm sitting there and our girls are swimming. I'm at the pool, and Ryan, my wife, who didn't know me when I got my tattoo, looks at me and she, restaurant is always spelled wrong to me. I don't know about you. Restaurant is always spelled wrong. It will always be wrong. It's not right, okay? But you ever see a word and you go, that's not spelled right? So I'm at the pool, and really, if you have a rib tattoos, you never see it, right? You would never see it. She's looking at me, and she goes, is Philippians spelled right? And I looked at it, because I haven't thought about it in 6 years, and I was like, yes, Ryan, of course. It's not misspelled. But now we have iPhones in 2016. She goes, well, let me just get it real quick. And now I start getting insecure. So I'm like, well, nah, man, it's spelled right, whatever. So if you have a Bible or your Bible app, you can go look at how it's spelled. Mine on my ribs is PHILLIPIANS. Philippians is actually spelled PHILIPPIANS. So I have 2 L's. The actual Philippians has 2 P's. And now, I was super insecure about that at the time. But now whenever I look back at isn't that the sign of a new believer? Isn't that the sign of what somebody who just grasped Jesus does? If you don't have guidance, if you don't have somebody steering, because I didn't know, I didn't think, I knew that I loved Jesus and I jumped all in. And when you do that, sometimes you can get hurt. Things can be misspelled, there are errors, you mess up. And if I would have found out I had it misspelled in 2011, whenever I was still I wasn't in ministry, I wasn't really reading, I'd have just a black square on my ribs. But when we just jump in with no guidance, with no help, that's why we have friends. Listen, and we're not even in this thing. We're about to. That's why you have people, that's why you have community. Hey, I don't know who you are, where you are. You need to get around people that's misspelled. Hey, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't talk like that. I wouldn't say that. Here's why I wouldn't. Because early on, you're going to just love it. And that's good. I don't think I was wrong in getting it. I just think I could have had somebody with me guiding it. So that's what we want to do with Citizens. This series, wherever you're at, whoever you are, you're new, you're like, I want to give it a shot. I kind of need some help. So if you have a Bible, turn to Philippians 1. We're actually going to start in verse 20. Trust me. Hey, learn from me. Don't just run in and get tattoos and you don't know how to spell things. Let's really say, okay, God, what do you want from me? What does it look like? How's it spelled? All of that. Verse 20, let's start here. For I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed, but that I will continue to be bold for Christ. Listen, this is a guy, his name's Paul. He's writing a letter to a church. And some people freak out about the word Philippians. Okay, no different than if I was to write a letter to the people of Tennessee, I'd call them what? Tennesseans. Florida, Floridians. He's writing to a city called Philippi, so he's writing to the what? Philippians. Okay, so Paul's writing this, verse 20. For I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed, but that I will continue to be bold for Christ, as I have been in the past. And I trust that my life will bring honor to Christ, whether I live or die. And here's the thing that's misspelled on my ribs right here, 21. For to me, living means living for Christ, and dying is even better. But if I live, I can do more fruitful work for Christ, so I really don't know which is better. I'm torn between two desires. I long to go and be with Christ in heaven, which would be far better for me, but for your sakes, it is better that I continue to live. Verse 25, and we're done. Knowing this, I am convinced that I will remain alive so I can continue to help all of you grow and experience the joy of your faith. Okay, so that's a lot. Okay, let's go back to verse 20. Look at this. Remember, Paul's writing to some believers, some church people. Look at this. Verse 20, for I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed. But look at this. The first trait of how do I know that I'm a Christian? What does a Christian life look like? But that I will continue to be bold for Christ. When you are a believer, when you're a Christian, Christianity will cause you to do things that are scary. You'll feel a nudge for some reason to pray for someone in public, and you're going to go, no. This is weird. This is freaky. No. You're bold. Because here's what I'll tell you. Scary hallways lead to doors of breakthrough. Okay? That scary hallway, you're like, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm not talking to that person. I'm not praying for that person. I'm not waking up early to pray. I'm not waking up early to read. I'm not going to do all this. I'm not going to get involved in a church because they're weird, all of that. Scary hallways lead to doors of breakthrough. But you know what it requires you to do? Be bold. That's what a because, dude, Jesus will call you. The Holy Spirit will nudge you to do stuff. You're going to go, no. There's no way. No way. No, I'm not ashamed. He says, I'm not ashamed. I'm going to be bold. A lady that watches different online, a part of the YouTube campus, she reached out to me and she says, hey, I'm writing a book. She's a good friend of mine. She's writing a book, and she said, hey, will you read it and let me know kind of what you think? And so I said, perfect. So I've been reading it this past week. There's a chapter in the book, and it just kind of talks about these things that happened to her where somebody was bold and stepped out and did something for her that was out. So I'm reading this, I'm reading it, and she says in her book, she's sitting there and she's stressed, she's anxious, all this stuff's happening in her life, family issues, and she says she's sitting in a hotel, like lobby, and this lady walks up and she just randomly says, can I pray for you? Just out of nowhere. Can I pray for you? Had no idea she was going through something. Probably had a nudge, had like but had no idea. And then my friend said she just starts breaking down. She said that, and this was before she was a Christian, my friend. She said, that's when I knew there was something different. Being bold doesn't just showcase God's glory, it also encourages other people. It also encourages other people, other believers, because I have 2 daughters, Salem and Asher. One's more naturally bold than the other. They're on a diving board. Salem has to see Asher be bold before Salem's bold. Somebody's watching you right now, waiting for you to be bold, because if you're bold, they'll jump off. They're not that scared, but they just need to see, and they need to see your boldness. As a believer, you must be bold. You must be bold. Because, man, if you really wake up in the morning and say, God, help me make an impact on someone's life, you a journey that day. Dude, there is going to be something. You're going to like walk into work and that person you don't like, you hate how they smell, you hate how they sound, whatever. God's going to say, hey, ask them how their weekend was. See if you can pray for them. And you're going to say, no way. Bold, 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 bold. And when you walk down a scary hallway, no, there's going to be a door with breakthrough on the other side. You just got to get through the dark hallway. You just do. And now, hey, maybe you're like brand new to this thing and you're like, bro, listen, the last thing I'm doing is praying for people in public, okay? That is the last thing I'm thinking. That's the last thing I'm talking about. I just need to know when I wake up, what am I supposed to do? I didn't know Jesus, now I know. What am I supposed to do? And here's what I'll tell you. The longer you're in His Word, the longer you're praying, the longer you're worshiping, the longer you're in church, the easier it will be to figure out where you need to go, okay? You ever like moved somewhere or went on vacation and you've had to use your GPS everywhere you go? And that's the most annoying thing, right? You get somewhere, you have no idea where you're going, so you want to go to Walmart? All right, let me put in my GPS. Oh, I got to go here, let me put in my GPS. You're doing that for the first 4 or 5 days, but listen, the longer you spend in that place, in that city, what happens? You learn. You learn where to go. So for a season, hey, if you're new, you're saying, bro, I have no idea. Get a GPS. Ask somebody. Bro, whenever I first got saved, I literally, and this is going to sound so terrible, I was still in high school. I was my senior year, and I would literally call this pastor. I'd be in the car with people smoking, drinking, whatever, and I would call up this pastor, and I'd say, bro, am I allowed to do this? With my boys in the car. I had no idea. And he'd be like, yeah, dude, you got to get out. I'll come pick you up. I'll come snatch you. But you need a GPS for a season until you get comfortable navigating where God's going to call you to be. And I'm not saying as you get older, you don't need a GPS, but that's for like bigger journeys, right? Like then it's like, okay, I need help. What am I doing with this company? But man, if you're just waking up saying, what am I doing? Be in the Word, be in prayer, but also get around people that have been in the city you're in right now. The longer you're a citizen of heaven, the more easy it is to navigate through these different things. Look at this. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. For I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed, but that I will continue to be bold for Christ as I have in the past. And look at this. And I trust that my life will bring honor. 2 things, okay? 2 things. He says there are 2 attributes of a citizen of heaven. I'm bold and I'm honorable. I'm bold and I show honor to Christ. You know what I love about those 2 things? They're both public. You can't hide being bold, can you? That's the point of being bold. You're out there. You let everyone know, I'm not ashamed. Hey, what's up? It's like wearing a ring. Right? Like, dude, I'll let you know right now. I'm happily married 8 years. You ever see someone not put their ring on when they go somewhere? I'm going to Vegas with some friends. Hold on, let me put this up. They're ashamed. No, your boldness is public, but you honor publicly too, don't you? Someone asks something, you honor. You know what honor means? Heavy. Honor simply means something carries weight to you. You ever help somebody move? You ever be at the gym and you're like lifting really heavy weight? You know you're not worried what other people say when you've got weight in your hands. You know you're not worried what other people are thinking. What are you worried about? I cannot drop this. Why? It carries weight to you. You're carrying the weight. And the calling God put on your life, it carries too much weight. You can't drop it. You can't let it go. I honor what God's spoken into my life. It's supposed to be heavy. You can't be worried about what everyone else is thinking. I've got too much weight. The calling, the future God has for me is too heavy to be worried about you. But you know what we love to do? Sunday, woo, my calling's crazy. What God's got for me is crazy. Oh, it's Sunday night. Hold on, let me put this down. And then we go over and we find our work weight, don't we? Oh, now I got to make money. I got to get bread. I got to honor my bank account. Let me pick this one up for a little bit. Woo! I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're worried about what your manager thinks, what people think. You're grinding Monday through Friday. And what do you do on the weekends? Oh, hold on. My family. Oh, my wife, my kids. I love it. I love them. Oh, snap, Sunday. Hold on. Jesus! What a miserable one. That's super tiring. What a miserable life to live. In Matthew it says, seek first the kingdom of God. Then everything gets added. The finances will take care of themselves. The family will take care of it. All you do is say, Jesus, your calling carries weight in my life. Your words carry weight in my life. Yes, there are other things hitting me. I just can't drop this. I can't drop it. It means too much to me. I honor it too much. I honor it too much. Growing up, what was the worst thing you could hear from someone you loved? Not getting a spanking from your grandma, your grandpa, your parents. What was it? I'm disappointed in you. Why was that worse than getting spanked? Their words carried weight. You honored them. You cared about what they thought. You cared about what they said. Same thing. When Jesus speaks into your life, when the Holy Spirit nudges you, he says, as a believer, I honor. I honor. That's it. I'm bold and I honor. His words are heavy to me. And this isn't, yes, he says honor Christ. There's a million different ways to honor everyone else around you. Your wife or your husband, their words should matter. Your kids, man, that weight should matter. And as a believer, he says two things. Be bold, be honorable. Be bold, be honorable. For I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed, but that I will continue to be bold as Christ, as I have been in the past. And I trust that my life will bring honor to Christ, whether I live or die. Okay, here's verse 21. Here's my tattoo. Here's it misspelled. Look at this. For to me, living means living for Christ, and dying is even better. My thing that I had, the Devo, said, to live is Christ, to die is gain. To live is Christ, to die is gain. That means if I'm on this earth, you know what's awesome? I get to tell people my story and what Jesus did for me. And you know what happens if I die? Even better. I'm with the person that saved me and loved me and created me. Perfect. It's a win-win. But you know what I think it says even more? You want to know what I think it shows even more? An eternal mindset. To Paul, only two things mattered. Telling people about Jesus, and when am I going to meet Jesus? Telling people about Jesus, when am I going to meet? There's no in-between, well, man, this raise is coming. I want to get married. I want the white picket fence. I want the kids. I want this. I want this. I want this. He never says that. And you know where he's at while he's writing these words? I don't think you're ready. You think he's like in a church just like people are worshiping, throwing their hands up, and everything's perfect, and the organ's playing. No, he's in prison while he writes these words. What? His own thought process wasn't even, get me out of prison so I can tell people about Jesus. He wasn't. And he even says later in this, it's good that I'm in prison. Now everybody knows. Lock me up. That's the difference in, am I a citizen of the USA? Am I a citizen of Puerto Rico? Am I a citizen of Cuba? Or am I a citizen of heaven? Two things matter on this earth. And honestly, and I don't know where you are, who you are, I get it twisted a lot. I'm a citizen of Bank of America. I'll tell you that much right now. I check my bank account app more than I check the Bible app, more than I check on my friends, even my family. I'm a citizen of Bank of America. I'll tell you, dude, this is me. I'll tell you right now. Paul says there's so much more than that. Two things: an eternal mindset. Telling people my story or meeting the person that changed my story. That's all that matters. That's why I love that passage so much, man. That's why I got it tattooed. I think it said, yes, it's misspelled, but I still think it's dope. For to me, living means living for Christ, and dying is even better. To live is Christ, to die is gain. But if I live, verse 22, but if I live, I can, and I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but look, but if I live, I can do more fruitful work. Did it say I can do more lucrative work? I can do more work that gains me followers? Can I do more work that looks really popular, that looks really cool, that whatever? No. I can do more fruitful work. Fruitful. That's a hard word. And one of the easiest ways I can let you know in my life, when something's fruitful, it won't be forgotten. Okay? When something's fruitful, when you show someone peace, love, mercy, grace, hope, patience, self-control, you love them, they'll never forget that. You know what I forget? The extra shifts I used to pull back in high school when I worked at Party City just to make a couple extra bucks. I've forgotten all about those. But when have I done fruitful work? Work that will not be forgotten by Christ, but also others. Fruitful. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're fruitful. It just doesn't. I wish, because I think I'm a really hard worker, honestly. Doesn't mean it's fruitful at all. But if I live, I can do more fruitful work for Christ, so I really don't know which is better. I'm torn between two desires. Eternal mindset. I long to go to be with Christ, which would be far better for me. If I die, go to heaven, I'm set. But for your sakes, it is better that I continue to live. For you, it's better. Well, and he tells you why. Verse 25, and we're done. Knowing this, I am convinced that I will remain alive. Look, just how he says that. The only reason I'm alive. This is it. I am convinced I will remain alive so I can continue to help all of you grow and experience the joy of your faith. That's it. I exist for no other reason than to show you there's joy in Jesus. That's it. He doesn't say that he's preaching truth. He doesn't say that he's reading the Bible 24/7, that he's praying. He's here to show you there's joy in Jesus. You know what joy means? Happiness. That's what it means. Happiness. There's happiness in a life with Jesus. And so two things, and then we're done. I'm just going to ask you. One, maybe you've been a Christian for a long time, but you've made Jesus really dreary. It's really, it kind of sucks to follow Jesus. And you're saying, man, I need to show joy. I need to show that there's happiness, there's laughter, there's enjoyment, there's joy in following Jesus. But maybe you're the other person, you say, man, I've never helped somebody grow at all. I'm still growing, but I understand that my growth requires me to help others grow. And that's you, and you're just saying, bro, I am going to step into how can I help someone else? How can I help their experience? How can I do it? And I want to pray for you, but following Jesus is not boring. Following Jesus is not lame. Following Jesus is not something I do on the side. No, there is so much happiness in following Jesus. I love walking in somewhere and just being able to say, hey, are you good? Do you need anything? What do you need? And I see them get excited. I see them, their eyes light up when they see just a Christian that's not yelling at them, not throwing stuff at them, not doing anything like that. Like, dude, I'm just there saying, hey, you need something? Because you know what? The last thing, I know, I'm sorry. You know what this whole passage was saying? That Paul was selfless. That was it. He literally said, the only reason I'm alive is because of you. That's it. He's bold, he's honorable, and he says, hey, I might as well die, but you need me, I'm here. You have all access to me. Have you allowed others to have access to you? Have you? Like, man, they can literally just look at you and say, I need this. Have you been there for them? Because that's all we're here for. I'm not here for me. I'm not here to make a crazy amount of money, though that's nice and there are blessings. I'm here for others. That's it. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. That's literally Paul's whole thing. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And that's my prayer. Maybe you just have not been there for people. And hey, this is on me, okay? This is on me. I'm not perfect. I mess up all the time. I silence people's phone calls sometimes. I took my read receipts off my text messages so they don't know that I got them, so I don't have to answer them back. I'm not there for them. And I'm literally on this earth for them. That's it. God, we love you. I'm sorry when I've dropped the ball. I'm sorry when I've messed up. I'm sorry when I failed. I'm not perfect. I'm broken. I'm hurting. But God, I pray that we would just wake up tomorrow morning and say, God, what do you want from me today? What do you have for me today? What have you called me to do today? Who am I praying for? Where am I at in the Bible today? What am I doing? And God, I pray that we would be bold believers, telling our story, telling the things that God's done for us. But that, God, I pray that we would honor you, that your words would carry weight, that we would carry the calling you have on our lives, that would carry more weight than what anyone else would say. And God, lastly, that we would just be selfless, not thinking about ourselves, not being worried about what our bank account looks like, what our family looks like, what my Instagram page looks like, but I would be really concerned, how can I help get others to know the joy of Christ? God, we love you. We thank you. Thank you for calling us, for rescuing us in our mess, in our brokenness, in our hurt, in our pain, in our addiction. You rescued us. And God, I thank you, thank you, thank you. It's your name we pray. And everybody said, amen. Hey, what's up? My name's Tyler, and you are a part of our Different Church YouTube campus. And I just want to say thank you. I'm the pastor here. And here's a few things that you can do to stay a part. 1, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Be alerted anytime something drops or releases. We want you to be a part, we want you to be encouraged and inspired and figure out what your different is. But maybe you want to tell your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, whoever. Maybe you want to send that, just share it. Because what I've learned in ministry, people will open a link to a church long before they ever open the door to a church. And maybe you're on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Follow us, Different Church Nashville. Be a part. See what we're doing every single day. And maybe, last but not least, you're an OG. You're a real one. You really want to get plugged in. All you got to do is go to different.church. That's DFRNT.church to find out more about us, the church, how to give, how to be a part, all of that. But I love you, and I will see you next video.